Welcome back, Mascali here on PS5 official Chernarus for the 365 day challenge. We are now at day 9. It's been a little while. There seems to be a issue where dupers are crashing servers. So this server went down for pretty much a week. So I haven't actually been able to record for some time. Still calling this day 9 though, so essentially every day that we survive is going to be another day contributing to the challenge. So we are somewhere along the western coast. Last episode we found some pretty good stashes as we headed south along the west coast, and we're going to continue our journey south now. You can see that we're starting to get a little bit thirsty. I do have a bit of food, I think. I've just fixed my suppressor. We've got a can of bacon, which is okay. We don't have any water though, so we might need to fish. What are our boots looking like? Boots are still pristine. We've got rope so we can fish. I actually found a hook in one of the stashes. Badly damaged, might get one fish out of that. We've got this as well. That's badly damaged too, so one more use. So all up, loot-wise, not looking too bad. We found the Lamas last episode. Still got the Blaze. We've got the plate. So yeah, let's keep on heading south. We'll do some looking for stashes as we go. Let's just make sure that my bearings are right. Yep. Yeah, so it has been a few days, which is unfortunate, but we'll keep tracking on. I have all my episodes up on YouTube now, so up to day 8 on YouTube if you want to go back and look at previous episodes. I want to start getting into a bit more editing of the content as well, so that hopefully I can do some longer runs and just cut out the tedious running through woods type bits and pieces. Yeah, look at that, there we are. So yeah, we'll see what we can do. Oh, that's useful, that's very useful. Okay, I'm going to turn the mic off for a second and I'm just going to sift through this loot here. Not massively useful stuff, but still trying to find a stash with some chlorine tabs. If we can find those chlorine tabs, then I don't need to worry so much about water. We can just take water from a stream and purify it, but I'm really not having any luck finding that here. I think there might be a those little hunters stands down here. So there might be some chlorine tubs there if we're really lucky. I quite often find stashes around this little section here. It's very common. What did I take that? Oh, I can drop that, I think. Yeah. Something that I took, possibly this pot, that probably added a bit to what we are carrying. I'll just drop that. I don't need that many of those. Pox antidote's just useful. I probably don't need to carry those DMR mags really. I just, in the off chance that we happen to find one, I'll just drop that one. It's one of the rarest guns in the game. It's pretty unlikely that we're going to find one. I did grab those extra nails, but I probably don't need to carry them. I'll take the chocolate. So yeah, it's a little bit, I have to remind myself of everything we've got, how far we have to go south. We've obviously got a spark plug, so when we get to the south coast we'll find a boat as quickly as we can, and then we can scoot back around to Berezino and continue the fun from there. Oh, okay. Right, is this active? Geez, that sprung up on me. I didn't even, there wasn't any desync or anything. We are finding a surprising number of bases, aren't we? Yeah, I reckon once we find the... I've got a flipping car in there, wow, okay. Jeez, this is awesome. Wow. Yeah, we really need to find some gear for raiding. Oh, another car. Ooh, okay. Oh, not entirely useful. No. No battery. Alright. So they've got two cars. I'll probably need to start despawning cars, to be honest, and you do see people hoarding cars a hell of a lot in this game. But I don't really want to make the amount of noise it takes to despawn them. You essentially have to ruin the engine. Alright, I'll mic off for a little bit. One trick for drinking creek water that I didn't really mention before is that I could potentially have a multivitamin pill and then just drink a little bit at a time. I might actually try that just to get our thirst back up, because I'm worried about getting sick with it's a little bit risky, but I'm worried about getting sick while we're cold like this. So if I fill up on a little bit of water, I think there's a house down. Yeah, while we're down here, I might actually go investigate a house that's just further down here too. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so while the risk is that if you're still digesting the water, when the multivitamin runs out, you can get sick from it. So, oh yeah, there we go. I've just hit thirst, max or red thirst. Can't use my words today. Sorry. So I'll eat this, and that'll help our thirst a little bit as well. Hopefully we don't get sick. Alright, we'll try that. While we're here, I wonder if we can actually fish. Might be a good time to do some fishing. And maybe I can cook in that house over there if it's not looking like there's been too much activity around. That jig was quite the lifesaver too, actually. Don't need to dig for worms anymore. I've got a feeling boiling water's a bit bugged at the moment, but I can give it a shot anyway. I might use vitamin pills as well, just to be doubly safe, but we can boil water while we cook. Well, actually boil our fish, and that'll give us a water supply to keep us going. And my matches are damp as well, so I'm going to need to get some bark and some extra sticks maybe. That gunshot was a bit close-ish. I think we need to get out of here as quickly as we can. Ooh, another one. Those gunshots were just a little bit close, make me feel uncomfortable, so I thought I'd drop an effie just to get out of the building as quickly as I could. Hopefully they're not heading south, but it sounded like they were up at the base that we just saw, so hopefully they're just trying to draw people in, or maybe it's somebody raiding them or something. Right there in front of us is the river that runs north to south on the western side of the map. People do like to drop loot in there to create hidden stashes. It can actually be, I don't know if fun's the right word, but it can be entertaining. Spending some time just running up the river and doing a bit of a search. That house or that garage right there is a really common base location as well. I don't think I want to go up there right now. But yeah, the river, there's a number of locations along the river that are deep enough to drop barrels in and crates in and things like that, so it can be entertaining doing a bit of a run. I think I might do it, but it'll need to be a fairly edited video because there's a lot of running through areas where there's absolutely nothing. I don't think it would be very interesting watching the full process, but it can be entertaining. It's kind of risky though on a 365-day challenge, given that we'd be pretty exposed for a lot of that run, especially on this server, which is extremely busy. Right now is actually the least busy I've seen this server for a long time, possibly because it's been down for a week. It's only at about 20 odd people right now, maybe 25. But one thing I was going to flag was that I need some missions. So if you guys want to start commenting in the comments, funny enough, what missions you'd like to see me do, I will endeavour to do them. Obviously I'm not too risk averse, even though I do kind of really want this character to stay alive. So throw some challenges in there. They can be silly, they can be difficult, they can be short term, long term sorts of challenges, whatever you want. And I will see how I go about achieving those missions. So I've got my bearings. I think we might have a house just down here, which is often based up. And if I've got the server right, it's one that oh, maybe it wasn't this server. There used to be a huge base here, or on a different server there was a massive base here that took up that entire compound. And I was trolling the base owners for days and days, just trying to raid them, just picking random grenades into the base while they were there and things. It was actually quite hilarious. I wish I took some clips from that time. Actually, it was super fun. They killed me a couple of times, of course, because I'm not very good at PvP, but yeah, I raided right to their last gate. They would have had maybe 5 or 6 gates, I think. I blew my way through all of them. Yeah, and in the end, the base got demolished by other raiders, and they moved on somewhere else. Yeah, this is a super common base building location. Yeah, no surprise that somebody had base up there. I'm pretty sure it wasn't the same setup. The guys that built the base that I was talking about had surrounded the entire area and walls, and yeah, nobody's going to demolish the walls to that extent. So it must have been a different server. No battery. It's another really common spot for stashes and occasionally a base. I've found a few bases here before. I've never found really good loot here though. Most of the stuff that's stashed here is pretty low tier gear for the most part. We're sort of beyond where people stash for going to places like Pavlovo and the high tier areas. So I'm not expecting to find anything exciting from here on really. So it might be worth just pushing hard, getting down to the coast. We're not too far from the coast now. There is one last thing we'll check though. It's quite close to here. You can see that tower over there. Just below that, there's a dam where where a convoy spawns. Yeah, we'll try our luck and see if the convoy is there. And maybe we'll find that DMR that I can put that 20 round mag in. Found a little 1x1 base here. Actually, it wasn't a 1x1, it was a compound, but only a small one. It was enough to fit a car. And the base owner was very obviously knew the way the loot was stashed. Everything about the base just screamed someone that was brand new to base building. I felt really bad for jumping into his base. I built a watchtower to get in. I found his tools in there that he'd used to build with that are all badly damaged. Obviously, almost ruined everything when he was building. I felt really guilty about getting into this new guy's base, so I actually ended up fixing up his tools for him, left him a few items and kept on going. So hopefully he got back in time to remove the watchtower that I built. And, I'm sure he would have appreciated the extra tools that I left him. I'll just quickly check up here to see if there's any chlorine tabs, and then we'll head down to where the convoy spawns. Gun cleaning kit. Oh, refresh. Yeah, so it spawns here, just next to this little lake here. So not in luck today. That's okay. We're carrying way too much gear as it is, so it's time to get back to our stash. quite recent. Those planks on the ground there were ruined, so they should have despawned by now. The only way they wouldn't have despawned, I think, is if they were placed in the storage slots in the walls or the watchtower, so maybe it's been there for a while. This server is quite incredible for the amount of stashes and bases that we're coming across there. I think once we get back, stash our gear, I want to do one more run to Krasno to try and get the pants that I'm missing from an NBC suit. If we get those pants, we'll go hit Riffy. Just for the hell of it, really, because the loot we've got is pretty reasonable. I do need an NVG head strap, but I'm thinking we start heading inland, let's start going towards the centre of the map and exploring a bit through there. So we've really only focused on the edges of the map so far in this server, and it'd be good to see what sort of activity we find more centrally. I'm sure we'll find some much more interesting bases and things that we could take a good look at. And here we are. We are at the far southwest corner of the map. Not often that I see people here, but there is a military base just to the east over there. You can almost see signs of it in the distance. Also not too busy with other players. I have had encounters there before. Yeah, this is it's one of my favourite parts of the map, really. That little military base over there actually spawns some pretty decent gear for where it is, and it's super easy to get to once you find a spark plug and a boat. So if you're fairly fresh and you land on the south coast, my usual routine is just to head west and yeah, make my way along the coast. There's a few convoy spawns, a couple of train spawns that you can hit along the way as well. So by the time I get to the far western side here, I'm normally fairly well set up to head north. That's my usual way to go. It's not a common, I don't think it's a very common way for people to loot, but it's what I like doing anyway. So from here, we need to find a boat. So we'll just cruise along here. We'll see if we can find any jigs or anything useful at these little fake boats until we find a real one that we can drive. chopper.
Headset paired.
That's close. I'm tempted, but also I can't be bothered. I'm really just eager to find a boat right now rather than try for a chopper. I think we need to offload loot so I can get some stamina back. Oh, jig. That's exactly what I wanted. Once I've got some stamina and we've got all this gear stashed away. Oh, there's a boat. Amazing. Yeah, we can get the hell out of here. I'm guessing that boat was from someone who came to go to the military that's right there. So hopefully they don't come back. This is going to be a bit of a long journey, so I will endeavour to cut it out once I or cut out most of the journey once I get to the editing stage. Alright, there's Riffy off in the distance, and Berezino's down there. The sun is almost setting, so we're going to find our way back to the stash from here. Getting interesting lag, which is either Z spawning in over there or there's something interesting up ahead. Maybe is the train here? There's a train spawn quite often. I don't think there is. Could be anything really. But you never know, people might stash around here, but I should get out of the stash hunting mindset and get focused on getting us to our own stash. I did have to switch boats along the way. The first one that we were in was nearly approaching empty on the fuel tank. So we found a black one, which was quite cool. That's actually quite a good find. We just need a gas canister. We can actually cook peacefully. I'm trying to find the way that I get there occasionally to our stash. I'm not very good at this route. There's a creek somewhere down here that I just need to follow. Here we are. Yeah, so I'll just follow this creek and that takes us up to where we need to be. Amazingly, looks like it's all here still. A quick glance. One nail. Alright, let's sort that out then. Alright, let's throw our hood in there. And as I mentioned, annoyingly, we've got the jacket and we have doubled up on jackets, but at least it's green, so that's kind of good. We have a filter there. We can fill up that filter with charcoal. nice full filter there. Is that all of them? Yeah. Not gonna bother carrying that ammo with me right now. Actually, no, I am. I've got a Lamars. Alright, I'm gonna turn my mic off and I'm just gonna sort my loot out for a little bit. So looking pretty good loot-wise. While it's getting dark, I think I'll duck into Kelm. I'm just going to fill up our canteen and our cooking pot with water, so that I've got a fresh water supply back at the stash. Not going to do any looting there. I just want to get us equipped with what we need. Don't need a longhorn. And then once I've got ourselves set up, I think I'll call it. This has been roughly an hour and a half, I think, of recording. And with it getting dark, it's probably a good time for us to log off for a little bit. And when we get back, we will try to finish off our NBC suit, I think. Alright, we are looking pretty good, I think. Yeah, reasonably well kitted up. There's our saw, but we do need a digging implement if we want to go raid some bases, which I do like the idea of doing. Just me taking that boat ride all the way around the coast again. So I'm a little bit conflicted, but I think a quick run to Krasno just to try and finish off our NBC suit would be pretty smart. So next episode, I think we do that, but we now have fresh water. We've got a little bit of food, not that much to be honest. Plenty of ammo for our blaze, not so much for our Lamars. I will need to build some more crates though. So maybe I'll quickly do that. If it's just one more crate. Where am I? Nope, need to log off. I will see you next time, guys. Catch you later.